In this video session, we will discuss about the turbines. So here we will include following topics, that is introduction to the turbine, general layout of hydroelectric power plant, heads and efficiencies, and classification of turbines. So let us go with the introduction of turbines. So first let us see what is hydraulic machines. So hydraulic machines are those machines which converts either hydraulic energy into the mechanical energy or mechanical energy into the hydraulic energy. So there are two types of hydraulic machines. So that is, one is turbine and another one is pumps. So turbines are those machines which converts hydraulic energy into mechanical energy, whereas pumps are those hydraulic machines which converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. So in this chapter, we will study the turbines like Pelton wheel, Francis, and Kaplan, and in the pump, we will study centrifugal pump. So let us go with the turbine. So as we discussed earlier, turbines are those machines which convert hydraulic energy into the mechanical energy. So later this mechanical energy will be converted to the electrical energy by using a electric generator which is coupled to the shaft of the turbine. So here the mechanical energy will be converted into the electrical energy. Whatever the electrical power that is generated here from the hydraulic energy is called as hydroelectric power. So the plant is called as hydroelectric power plant. So let us go with the layout of the hydroelectric power plant. So usually a hydroelectric power plant uh, consists of a dam. So usually a dam is constructed across the flow of water or across a river or any other forms of flow. So it will create a reservoir on the upstream side of the dam. So it will have the head on the upstream side of the dam, that is nothing but reservoir. So to convey the water from the dam to the turbine, there will be one thing, that is nothing but a pipe which is of larger diameter called as a penstock. So this will carry water under high pressure from the storage reservoir to the turbines. So these pipes are made up of either steel or reinforced concrete. So then this water under pressure will strike the vane. So next part will be the vanes, so which are fitted to the wheels of the turbine. So what happens after striking this, the vanes, the wheel of the turbine or the runner of the turbine will start to rotate and work will be done. So after work is done, so what happens is this used water should be carried away from the turbine. So that is by using a channel that is called as a tail race, the water will be carried away from the turbine. The surface level of the water in that place is called as tail race. So hello everyone. In this video session, we will discuss about the turbines. So here we will include following topics, that is introduction to the turbine, general layout of hydroelectric power plant, heads and efficiencies, and classification of turbines. So let us go with the introduction of turbines. So first let us see what is hydraulic machines. So hydraulic machines are those machines which converts either hydraulic energy into the mechanical energy or mechanical energy into the hydraulic energy. So there are two types of hydraulic machines. So that is, one is turbine and another one is pumps. So turbines are those machines which converts hydraulic energy into mechanical energy, whereas pumps are those hydraulic machines which converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy. So in this chapter, we will study the turbines like Pelton wheel, Francis, and Kaplan, and in the pump we will study centrifugal pump. So let us go with the turbine. So as we discussed earlier, turbines are those machines which convert hydraulic energy into the mechanical energy. So later this mechanical energy will be converted to the electrical energy by using a electric generator which is coupled to the shaft of the turbine. So here the mechanical energy will be converted into the electrical energy. Whatever the electrical power that is generated here from the hydraulic energy is called as hydroelectric power. So the plant is called as hydroelectric power plant. So let us go with the layout of the hydroelectric power plant. So usually a hydroelectric power plant uh, consists of a dam. So usually a dam is constructed across the flow of water or across a river or any other forms of flow. So it will create a reservoir on the upstream side of the dam. So it will have the head on the upstream side of the dam, that is nothing but reservoir. So to convey the water from the dam to the turbine, there will be one thing that is nothing but a pipe which is of larger diameter called as a penstock. So this will carry water under high pressure from the storage reservoir to the turbines. So these pipes are made up of either steel or reinforced concrete. So then this water under pressure will strike the vane. So next part will be the vanes, so which are fitted to the wheels of the turbine. So what happens after striking this, the vanes, the wheel of the turbine or the runner of the turbine will start to rotate and work will be done. So after work is done, so what happens is this used water should be carried away from the turbine. So that is by using a channel that is called as a tail race, the water will be carried away from the turbine. The surface level of the water in that place is called as tail race. So this is how the hydroelectric power plant looks like. So here you can see a dam is constructed across this flow. So it created a reservoir with this much of head. So here this is called as a penstock, which is used to carry the water from this reservoir to the place of the turbine. So this is called as a penstock. So this will strike this vane which is fitted to this wheel or runner. So because of this the wheel or runner will start to rotate. So then the shaft will rotate, then this water will be collected in the tail race and it will be carried away using using this channel. So I will explain these things using a animation video. Let us go with the animation video. A dam is constructed across the flow of water, so it will result in the formation of reservoir on the upstream side. So here water under high pressure, that is potential energy will be here. Water will flow under high pressure through this pipe, that is penstock, which is of larger diameter. So it is controlled by using the inlet valve. So these penstock are either made up of concrete or steel. Here the surge tanks are used to control the flow, so it will help to prevent the excess flow of water. This is trash rack which will prevent the debris entering the turbine or striking the vane, which may damage the vane of the turbine. So here water will strike under high pressure of force. So this runner will rotate. Now mechanical energy is produced here. You can see the shaft is rotating. So which is coupled with the generator. Now generator will generate the electricity. So this is connected to the transformer. The voltages will be now raised. Then this will be distributed by the distribution line. So once the work has done, so here you can see the water level, that is tail race. So it is then it is carried from the to the downstream by using the draft tube. So let us go with the heads and efficiency. So first let us see what are the different heads. First one is a gross head. So gross head is nothing but difference between head race level and the tail race level when no water is flowing is known as gross head. It is denoted by Hg. So gross head is nothing but difference between head raise level and tail raise level when no water is flowing. It is denoted by Hg. If I go through the figure, so you can see this is a head raise and this is a tail raise. The difference between head raise and the tail raise, see this height is called as gross head, denoted by Hg. So next head is net head. It is also called as effective head, and it is defined as a head available at the inlet of the turbine when water is flowing from head race to the turbine. So what happens is here water will be flowing from the reservoir to the turbine. So whatever when water is flowing, so whatever the head available at this place, so near the turbine, so that is called as net head, because all this gross head will not be available at the inlet. So there will be loss of head due to the many reasons. So that is maybe the main reason is the friction, and many other reasons also there which are very minor, but friction plays the major role. So we will consider only the friction. So it will be the net head is nothing but effective head available at the inlet of the turbine when water is flowing, whereas gross head is a head when there is no flow. So if you consider head loss due to the friction as a Hf, then net head on the turbine we can calculate it by, so net head is equal to gross head minus head loss due to the friction. So H is equal to Hg minus Hf. So where H is equal to net head, Hg is equal to, that is gross head, and Hf is nothing but head loss due to the friction. So head loss due to friction occurs due to the friction between the water and the penstock when water is flowing through the penstock. So if we take, you can calculate Hf using this formula 4FLV square by 2GD, where F is a coefficient of friction of the penstock, L is the total length of penstock, V is the mean velocity through the penstock, D is the diameter of penstock, and D is the acceleration due to gravity. So these things are very important thing usually that are asked in the examination, that is a hydroelectric power plant and as well as different heads that comes under this hydroelectric power plant. So next let us go with the efficiency. So there are different types of efficiency of the turbine. First one is a hydraulic efficiency, next mechanical, volumetric efficiency, and overall efficiency. So let us go with the hydraulic efficiency first. So hydraulic efficiency is defined as a ratio of power given by the water to the runner of turbine to the power supplied by the water at the inlet of the turbine. So the power at the inlet of turbine is more, because whatever the power available at the inlet of turbine is more, so same power will not be available at the outlet or near the runner. So there will be loss of power. Hence, power delivered to the runner of turbine will be less than the power available at the inlet of the turbine. So the power available at the outlet or runner of turbine will not be same as that of power available at the inlet of the turbine. It will be less. So hydraulic efficiency is nothing but ratio of power delivered to the runner divided by power supplied at the inlet. So we can, in short, we can take as a RP, runner power, divided by WP, that is water power. So hydraulic efficiency is equal to runner power divided by water power. So runner power we can calculate using the formula. So that is this is a general formula that is given for the Pelton turbine. So that is whatever nothing but that is work done by the runner. So that formula you can use it as a runner power. Water power is nothing but we can calculate using the formula rho g q h divided by 1000. That will be, answer will be in the kilowatt, where rho is 1000, g is 1000 for the water, g is 9.81, and q is the discharge, and h is the head divided by 1000. So that is with the hydraulic efficiency. Hydraulic efficiency is a ratio of runner power divided by water power. Runner power is nothing but work done by the turbine. So let us go with the mechanical efficiency. So what happens is, here initially we will supply the water to the the vein. So because of this, uh, here what happens is, this runner will start to rotate. So this in connection with the shaft, now the shaft will start to rotate. So here mechanical efficiency is nothing but power delivered by the water to the runner of turbine is uh, transmitted to the shaft of the turbine. So this runner power will be transmitted to the shaft of the turbine. Due to the mechanical losses, the power available at the shaft of the turbine is less than the power delivered to the runner of the turbine. So we can define mechanical efficiency as a ratio of power available at the shaft of the runner to the power delivered to the runner. So mechanical efficiency is nothing but power at the shaft of the turbine divided by power delivered by the water to the runner. So we can, in short, we can say SP divided by RP, where SP is shaft power, and this power delivered by the water to the runner, that we can call it as RP, that is runner power. So let us go with the volumetric efficiency. So volume of water striking the runner of turbine is slightly less than the volume of water supplied to the turbine. So usually the water will be one volume of water will be supplied to the turbine. Same volume of water will not strike the veins. So 100% of water will not strike. So there will be some loss of water. So some of volume of water is discharged to the tail race without striking the runner of the turbine. The ratio of volume of water actually striking the runner to the volume of water supplied to the turbine is called as volumetric efficiency. So we can explain as eta V is equal to volume of water actually striking the runner divided by volume of water supplied to the turbine at the inlet. So going the last efficiency, that is overall efficiency. So in the hydraulic machine, that is in the turbine, so initially there will be hydraulic energy. So at the end it will be converted into the mechanical energy. So that is, we can say it as, it is defined as ratio of power available at the shaft of the turbine to the power supplied by the water at the inlet of the turbine. So initial input is nothing but power supplied by the water, and output is nothing but rotation of the shaft. So we can write it as eta efficient, that is eta naught efficiency, overall efficiency is equal to volume available at the shaft of the turbine divided by power supplied at the inlet of the turbine. So we can take it as in the numerator as SP divided by WP. So that is equal to shaft power divided by water power. In short, we can write it as SP divided by WP. So we will get the relation between overall efficiency and with the other efficiency. So SP divided by WP. So here I will multiply RP, multiply and divide by RP, that is nothing but runner power. Next what I will do is SP divided by RP and RP divided by WP. I will separate it and I will write in this way. So SP divided by RP, that is shaft power divided by runner power. So that is nothing but mechanical efficiency. Runner power divided by water power. So that is nothing but hydraulic efficiency. So we can write it as eta naught is equal to eta m into eta h. So in other way, we can write in another way like eta f naught is equal to hydraulic efficiency is equal to shaft power divided by water power. So shaft power usually we will write it as a capital P divided by water power is rho G Q H divided by 1000. So both will be in the kilowatt. So this is with the different efficiency we should know while we deal with the turbines. Next, let us go with the different classifications of hydraulic turbines. So here, hydraulic turbines are classified according to the different basis. The first one is according to the type of energy at the inlet. So usually there are two types of turbine based on this classification. One is impulse turbine and second one is reaction turbine. Let us go with the impulse turbine. If at the inlet of the turbine the energy available is only the kinetic energy, then the turbine is known as a impulse turbine. So at the inlet, if the energy available is only the impulse, then we call it as a impulse turbine. Example is a Pelton wheel. So here in the Pelton wheel, only the impulse energy will be, or kinetic energy will be available. When you talk about the reaction, so in the name itself there is a thing, the reaction. So if at the inlet of the turbine water has kinetic energy as well as a pressure energy, so here we will have kinetic energy and pressure energy, so the turbine is known as reaction turbine. So here in the reaction turbine the runner is completely enclosed in the airtight casing, and casing is completely full with the water. So when, since here runner is completely enclosed, and when water get filled here, so it will result in the pressure inside that casing. So in the reaction turbine there will be kinetic energy as well as the pressure energy. The examples are Francis turbine and Kaplan turbine. So in the, if you go with the second classification, so according to the direction of flow, so here we will have four classification. First one is a tangential flow turbine, radial flow turbine, axial flow turbine, and mixed flow turbine. So tangential flow turbine is nothing but if the water flows along the tangent of the runner, so then it is called as a tangential flow turbine. So I will explain this figure. So you can see, so here water is striking tangentially, the jet of water striking the vane tangentially, so then the turbine is called as a tangential flow turbine. Second one is a radial flow turbine. If the water flows in the radial direction through the runner, so then the turbine is called as radial flow turbine. Example is Francis turbine. The old Francis turbine is an example. So here you can see the water is moving in the radial direction through the radius. So then this turbine is called as radial flow turbine. Third one is axial flow turbine. If water flows through the runner along the direction parallel to the axis of rotation of the runner, so then this turbine is called as axial flow turbine. The example is Kaplan turbine. So here you can see the water is striking axially. So in the upward you can see that is axially to this veins. So this is called as axial flow turbine. Example is a Kaplan turbine. Next one is a mixed flow turbine. Here water flows to the runner in the radial direction, but when it leaves the vane, it leaves in the direction parallel to the axis of rotation. So mixed flow reaction turbine is nothing but combination of these two. So that is combination of radial flow and axial flow. So while enters, so it will follow the radial flow. So you can see here radial flow. When it leaves, so it is following axial flow. So this is called as mixed flow reaction turbine. So example is the modern Francis turbine is example for mixed flow reaction turbine. Moving with another classification that is based on the head available at the inlet of turbine. They are classified as high head turbine, medium head turbine, and the low head turbine. The example for high head turbine, so you can see head is very high in the figure C. So example is Pelton wheel turbine. So high head is required. Second one is a medium head turbine. So medium head turbine is nothing but a Francis turbine. The head is medium, and the low head turbine, so that is nothing but a Kaplan turbine. These are the examples for the respective turbine. So moving with the last classification that is made based on the speed of the turbine. So first one is low speed, second one is medium speed, and the third one is high speed. So example for low speed, low specific speed turbine. So example is a Kaplan turbine, and medium speed specific speed example is a Francis turbine, and the third one high speed example is a Pelton wheel turbine. So this is made based on the speed of the turbine or the runner or vane of the turbine.